We've got a little bit of upside now here. I say this, holding my breath to a certain extent, but I have told you all along, have I not, that you want to be smart about this market. The market is recovering as we speak. We got an S&P up 1%, over 1%, NASDAQ trading up 1%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 1.1% here amid sort of hopes that things are going to temper themselves vis-a-vis what we're seeing with tariffs. You had the president out over the weekend saying he was going to exempt tech companies like Apple, electronics from those various tariffs, as well as anything that was semiconductor related. And then today we had Nvidia actually coming out with huge news saying that they were going to make a huge investment here in the US. And this is important, guys. This is really, really important because those semiconductors, we need them. They got them in Taiwan. Taiwan Semiconductor Company, they've got them, but we need them here in the US of A. And this might be lighting a fire, dare I say, in the tech community. The Donald Trump's threat of tariffs and the promise of tariffs has basically reinforced everybody that they need to make sure that they have a distribution mechanism and chain right here in the good old US of A. Important for us, for our national and economic safety, and also important for our prosperity in that these are high-tech manufacturing jobs that would be great to have here in the US.
Right. And also, I don't know if you saw the notes about Nvidia to manufacture American-made AI supercomputer for U.S. for the first time.
Yes.
Gigantic commitment of $500 billion. Interestingly enough, that's the same amount that Apple committed, but people were a little suspicious of the White House about Apple. No one's suspicious of Nvidia because if we don't have those chips, Nvidia's in all the missiles, Carl. Did some checking on this. All the missiles are driven by Nvidia chips.
They are? Really?
Yes.
Already?
I got this, yeah.
They're already incorporating the latest chips in things that were put on the drawing board many years ago? Really?
You know, Jim, I agree with you.
Well, I like to question you before I agree with you.
You know what, David? You know how you see these ads about people who do some work with the phones?
I'm aware of how hard you work. Well, I just want to make sure that
I actually
that
have
was an
dinner
accurate,
with people who put Nvidia.
That was an accurate statement.
I have dinner with people who put Nvidia chips in the missiles. Okay.
I have dinner with people who put Nvidia chips in their dinner. They eat those Nvidia chips.
Oh my God, they must be smart.
They're so smart.
I eat Wheaties. Darn.
We should point out, when they say supercomputer, that's what they're really referring to now, their chips as supercomputers.
Yes. Well, I
don't want people to get confused that they're somehow building something new.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a big deal, right? So you want to have as much of that production onshore as possible. And Donald Trump, in his own way, just scared the heck out of the tech community. And they're now like, yeah, we better do this. We better do this fast. Well, it's got to happen sooner rather than later, right? And I think Donald Trump's thinking sooner rather than later. Again, what did we say? Stay the course. Be smart about these things. You want to, but the goal is to buy low and sell high, right? I don't really sell a lot. I mean, at times I do. At times in our portfolios, and we're very transparent about that, if we think that, for example, one thing has seen enough upside that we are looking to maybe buy something else that has gotten beaten down, we tell you about that. Go to 76 Research if you're interested in investing and interested in just getting started here. Sign up for the 76 Research Report. Use my code word dollar. This is my company. I started it with my friend Rob. He's in Japan right now, reporting for us on the ground there in Japan. We may get a chance to talk to him a little bit later this evening, but it's good news here that we've got a market that is recovering. But don't tell that to the Dems, right? It's almost like they don't want the market to recover. I'm a little amused by this and a little disturbed. I think some of these people in the House of Representatives are just, well, morons. And so they're looking at what Donald Trump sent out on Truth Social the other day, in which he said, hey, you know what? It's a good time to buy. He was trying to calm the markets a little bit, but gosh darn it, you're not allowed to do that if you're Donald Trump. You're not allowed to do anything if you're Donald Trump. And so now they're trying to say, well, this was insider trading. You know what? His billionaire friends, they made all the money. Well, he was actually pretty public about it. Thank you very much, guys. If you guys were on Truth Social, maybe you would have bought and made some money too. Here we go.
On the possible insider trading and market manipulation, you are one of the people who have been calling for an investigation into the president and those around him. Where do you see evidence to warrant an investigation? Do you think there will be one?
Well, to be clear, market manipulation is fraud. It is a felony. And when you look at the facts, and that is why I am joining with my colleague, Representative Terry Sewell, who is the ranking member of the Oversight Committee for Ways and Means, along with 131 House Democrats, calling for a full investigation. An investigation that wants to look at how Donald Trump tanked the market with tariffs, then spiked it with the pause, but only after he gave notice to his billionaire friends. And the proof is there. $300 billion of additional increases for billionaires and their investments, while Americans whose retirements, whose health savings accounts were put at risk. That is why we are calling for a full investigation, and those who were involved should be held responsible.
Congressman, thanks so much for your time.
It's just, it's moronic, okay? Like, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand markets. Look, and I get frustrated, too, with Donald Trump's team and Peter Navarro, and sometimes, it feels like a little lack of... Scott Bessent is amazing, but, Peter's Peter, and he's had a viewpoint pretty consistently for 20 some odd years. And while I agree with parts of it, and we do need to protect some American jobs, NAFTA was not the panacea that they thought it was going to be. It also is, sort of misguided to say we're going to cut off the entire world from trading, right? And I think Scott Bessent gets that. Hopefully Howard gets that. But this guy doesn't get it. I mean, this guy doesn't understand a goddamn, forgive me, I don't want to use the Lord's name in vain, but this guy does not understand a thing, right? Because he's a complete moron. He thinks that somehow this is insider trading because the president was telling people, yeah, it's a good buying opportunity. I told you it was a good buying opportunity too, did I not? I did, and I'll continue telling you when I think it's a good buying opportunity. When the bottom falls out from under, when you get the VIX, just at 60 as it was the other day. I mean, I think the highest it ever was actually during March of 2020 when you're up around 80. Well, you know what? Unless you want to bet against America, and I get that the Dems do, you probably are going to see that as a buying opportunity. What else has been a buying opportunity actually for months now has been gold, and we're looking at gold at upwards of $3,200 an ounce. I don't sell my gold. I just buy my gold and I hold it. You can do this too. Go to trishlovesgold.com, trishlovesgold.com, one of our sponsors being American Heart for Gold. You can text my name, Trish, to 65532 or call them at 1-844-495-1115 today to get more information on all of that. But listen, I mean, this is a wild market. This is an exciting market for traders. I get one friend who's told me he's just having the time of his life, right? Because he likes the vol. He likes the volatility. I know if Don's watching in this show today, Don loves this too. He's a former options trader. I don't trade in and out as much. I dollar cost average in, and I sure like dollar cost averaging in when things are bad. Okay.